There is a sound your cat makes that most people have heard, and almost no one has stopped to understand. It might happen in the middle of the night, or when you come home, or in a quiet moment when you're sitting alone and your cat enters the room, looks at you, and makes a sound that isn't quite a meow, isn't quite a purr, something between the two, something smaller and softer and more deliberate than either. You heard it. You might have smiled at it. You might have said something back, and then you moved on. But that sound was not random. It was not reflex. It was one of the most intentional things your cat has ever directed at you. And tonight, we're going to talk about what it actually means. Most people think cats are quiet animals, and compared to dogs, they often are. But the assumption that a cat's sounds are simple, that meow means hungry and purr means happy, is one of the most incomplete ideas we have about the animals sharing our home. Cats have over 100 distinct vocalizations. And here is the most important thing you can know about them. Almost none of those sounds are used between cats. Cats in the wild rarely meow at each other. The meow, and most of the sounds that evolved from it, were developed specifically to communicate with humans. Your cat has been building a language, a private language, one it uses only with you. Researchers who study cat-human communication have documented something remarkable. Cats living with humans begin modifying their vocalizations within weeks of arrival to match what gets a response from their specific person. If you respond to high-pitched sounds, your cat's calls will trend higher. If you react to longer calls, your cat extends them. If a particular sound reliably brings you into the room, your cat files it and uses it again. Your cat is not just making sounds. It is running experiments and adjusting based on data. The language your cat uses with you is, in a very real sense, a language it invented specifically for you, which means the sounds your cat makes are more meaningful and more personal than most people realize. They are not generic. They are yours. So what are these sounds actually saying? Here are the 7 most important vocalizations your cat makes, and what each one means. The first sound, the chirp or chatter. You've heard this one at windows. That rapid, staccato clicking sound your cat makes when it watches a bird or a squirrel outside. This is frustration and excitement happening simultaneously. Your cat's jaw is mimicking the killing bite it cannot deliver. It knows it cannot reach the prey, and the sound it makes in that moment is as close to shouting as a cat ever gets. If your cat makes this sound at something you cannot see, not a bird, not a bug, nothing you can identify, pay attention. The second sound, the trill. This is the sound most people describe as a chirp or a rolling row, a brief, rising, melodic sound made with a closed mouth. This is one of the happiest sounds a cat makes. Mother cats use it to call their kittens. Adult cats use it almost exclusively for people they love. If your cat trills when it enters a room where you are, it is saying, "I'm glad you're here. I chose to come find you." The third sound, the slow, single meow, not urgent, not repeated. One meow, delivered calmly, while your cat looks directly at you. This is a request, but not for food. This sound almost always means, "Come with me," or "Pay attention to me," or "Something is different, and I need you to notice." When your cat does this, follow it, every single time. The fourth sound, the midnight yowl. This is the sound that wakes you up. long, low, mournful, sometimes almost human in its quality. In young cats, this is often territorial or mating related. But in older cats, or in cats who have lived with you for years and suddenly begin yowling at night, this sound is a signal that something has changed. Their disorientation, their pain, their need for you. Do not ignore the midnight yowl. It is never nothing. The fifth sound, the purr that sounds different. Not all purrs are the same. The purr of a content cat has a steady, even rhythm. But there is another purr, lower, more irregular, with a quality that some people describe as urgent or hollow. This is the solicitation purr. Cats use it specifically to request something from humans, and research shows that human hearing responds to this purr instinctively, the same way we respond to a baby's cry. If your cat's purr sounds different than usual, it is asking you for something. Listen more closely. The sixth sound, the silent meow. Your cat opens its mouth, forms the shape of a meow, and produces no sound you can hear. This is not a failed meow. Cats produce ultrasonic vocalizations, sounds above the range of human hearing, and the silent meow is one of them. It is most commonly directed at the people a cat trusts most completely. Some researchers believe it is the most intimate sound a cat can make. Your cat is speaking to you in a frequency that only the two of you share. The seventh sound, the chirp greeting. Different from the trill, this is a rapid, bouncy sound your cat makes specifically when you come home, or when you enter a room after being away. It is the sound of recognition, of relief, of a cat that noticed you were gone and is telling you, in its own language, that it noticed you came back. Of all these sounds, there is one I need you to take seriously above all others. If your cat, a cat that has lived with you for years, that you know completely, begins making sounds you have never heard before, at times it has never made them before, in places it has never gone before, something has changed in its body, in its environment, in its emotional state, something that deserves your attention. Cats are stoic. They hide pain with a discipline that has kept them alive in the wild for thousands of years. When a cat's sounds change, it is not being dramatic. It is doing the only thing it knows how to do to tell you that something is different. It is using the language it built specifically for you to tell you something it cannot say any other way. When the sounds change, pay attention. Always. Every sound your cat has ever made at you was deliberate. Every chirp, every trill, every silent meow, your cat chose to make that sound at that moment, directed at you specifically. Not at the wall, not at the room, at you. You were the intended recipient of a language your cat spent its entire life with you building. A language no one else on earth speaks quite the same way, because it was made for your ears specifically. The next time your cat looks at you and makes any sound at all, before you smile and move on, before you assume you understand, stop for a moment. Listen to it completely, because your cat is talking to you, and it has been talking to you every single day. It just needed you to know that you were worth inventing a language for. What sound does your cat make that you have never been able to explain? Tell me in the comments. Describe it as best you can. When it happens, what it sounds like, what your cat does right before and after. I want to know. And if someone in your life loves their cat and has wondered about the sounds it makes, share this video with them. It will change the way they listen. The next video is about something that connects deeply to everything we have talked about in this one. What your cat's purr is actually doing to your body, to your nervous system, your bones, your heart rate. The science is extraordinary, and I think it will surprise you. I'll see you there.